to the Brother Henry and You Show. I am your host, Henry Harris. Welcome to the Brawler Henry and You Show. I'm so glad that you are here with me this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I hope your day is off to a wonderful start. Welcome to the Brawler Henry and You Show. I'm so glad that you're with me. I have some thoughts that I want to share. But before I do that, as we always do, I want to ask you to share the broadcast because I really feel like that today's subject is very relevant. Actually, all the subjects that we do are relevant because what we want to do is we want to motivate, inspire, and encourage someone. How many know that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about? So I am taking my phone as I always do, and I'm going to hit the share button. All right. Have you ever pushed away someone you love? That's the subject, and that is shared. I think that's a good question. What do you think? Have you, and I was thinking about this the other day, and and even last night, I had some really good thoughts about this subject. How often do we push people away that we say that we love? And I'll be honest, I've done it for many reasons. And I think if you were to be honest, you've done it too. We've all been to that place in our life where we found ourselves pushing people away that we say that we love, pushing people away that we say we care about. And like I said, I often wonder why is it that people do that? So that's going to be today's subject. We're going to talk about have you ever pushed away someone you love? And I want you to let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever pushed someone away that you say that you love, that you care about? I have. And like I said, there are many reasons why people do that. So we have all been connected to someone that we love, that we have pushed away. But very rarely do we hear why do people do it? Or why did you do it? Or why did I do it? And I think at one time or another, many of us have done this. Maybe we did it because we felt that by doing so um, was protecting us somehow from not being hurt again or betrayed, or maybe because we felt, or maybe we lost connection with that person. Maybe we saw that connection with that individual was becoming more stronger, and we were starting to become more attached. So because we saw that, we started to kind of pull away or withdraw ourselves from that person. Or maybe we pushed someone away because we wanted to protect ourselves from something, no matter what that something is. So I feel like that's very important that we take note of that. Like I said, there are various reasons why people push somebody away, push others away. It doesn't even seem realistic, does it, to push someone away that you say that you love, that you say that you value, that you care about. I mean, is that even possible? I would say yes, it is possible. I know exactly what it feels like to push somebody away that I said I love at one time, or push somebody away that I said I cared about. And many times, the people that's doing that to people, they often get criticized and they get judged, but nobody ever looks at why they did it or what was the motive for them pulling themselves away from that person. I don't care if that was a wife or a husband or a friend or a co-worker. There are various reasons why people do the things that they do. So I would say it is very possible for a person to do that. There are various reasons why we do it. There's various reasons why people do it. This has happened and continue to happen in relationships. It happens in marriages. It happens in the dating scene. We see this happen a lot in the dating scene where people start to date and they start, like I said, they start to become attached. This can happen in actually every arena or area of life. We push somebody away or we become distant. There are some who push people away, but many times the people that do that or push somebody away, they really never acknowledge why they did it. But it's very obvious that that person has disappeared. I mean, it's very obvious that they did because how do you go from speaking with someone on a regular basis to all of a sudden, I haven't heard from that person in a while? How do you go from having a spark or interest in someone, and like I said, this can connect to whatever relationships, dating, marriage. How you go from having a spark or interest in someone and you're speaking for hours with each other, and all of a sudden it's like you vanish. So it's not hard to spot when these things happen. They do happen. We all, no matter who we are today, we all have been in situations like this. All of us have. And sometimes, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, sometimes it can be hurtful. Sometimes it can be very painful. And we may never fully understand why is this happening to me? Why is this person walking out of my life? Why is this person pulling away from me? Why is this person becoming distant? But always keep in mind that when this happens, we tend to focus on us. Well, maybe it's something that I did. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong to this person to make them pull themselves away from me. But the reality of it is, you have to look at it this way. It could just be an internal issue with that person. Maybe it's something that that person have experienced in their life. Maybe it was trauma. Maybe it was hurt. Maybe they've been betrayed, cheated on. I mean, you never know what the reason why they do that. So don't always take it personal. Yes, it will hurt. And I've been there. It will hurt. Some people are unwilling to confront and be honest with you that they push you away. Sometimes people who push people away, this I know this is gonna I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Sometimes people that push people away don't even acknowledge that they do. But how can you acknowledge something that you're not even aware of? There are people that push people away that don't even know that they're pushing people away. So that it becomes a pattern. It becomes a cycle. That's why we have multiple marriages and multiple relationships and multiple uh, dating partners and multiple friendships. And you gotta look at yourself and say, why is this happening? Am I pushing people away? Why do I keep pulling myself away? And that's an area in your life internally that you're gonna have to deal with because, and I talk about this later on, because what happens is it will you will never be able to develop a healthy relationship with anyone. You never will. If you have that, if you're that type of person that just likes to push people away, and like I said, I'm very sympathetic. I know why people do it. I've done it. Excuse me. I've done it. But the reality of it is that you have to be willing to acknowledge. Have I been pushing people away? Why am I doing that? Is there something that is unaddressed in my life that I need to confront, that I need to deal with? Because the reality of it is, there's a lot of things in our lives that we do need to confront, that we do need to deal with. And shoving it under the carpet or pretending like we don't do it. When I know, like I said, I've done it. We've all done it. If we were to be honest, all of us have done it. All of us have been there where we push someone away. So we just have to keep that in mind as I talk about this today. We have to keep that in mind that there could be several reasons why people push other people away or pull themselves back from people. Let's just use these few examples. You're dating someone and you're constantly messaging each other. You know what that feeling is like when you first meet someone and you're constantly messaging each other. You're constantly engaging and interacting with each other for hours and days at a time, only to find out that came to an halt. Why? Oftentimes because of fear of intimacy. I feel myself getting too close to this person, so I need to back off a little bit. I feel like I'm getting too emotionally close to this person, so I need to pull away. I feel like I'm getting too attached to this person, so I need to pull away. And I see that happening quite a bit. I've seen it happen a lot. I've done it myself in the past. I don't do it anymore. Why? Because I've acknowledged that. I've addressed that pain. I've addressed their hurt. But I know a lot of people who have. And like I said, a lot of people are even in denial. A lot of people don't want to go forward because when they start seeing things to increase and getting better and getting more attached and the closeness, it's almost like a threat. Like, wow, I see myself getting a little bit too close to this person, so I'm going to back off because I don't want to get hurt or lied to or betrayed or whatever. It's almost like a defense. Not only a defense, but it's very protective. I'm just giving you some reasons why people push themselves away um, from people. So um, maybe someone had a rough upbringing. I think this is another one that a lot of people either refuse to acknowledge or maybe they just don't want to. Maybe that person just had a rough upbringing. And oftentimes, people who had a rough upbringing, it makes it rather difficult to connect. with people. And I've seen that happen a time or two. We got to realize that all of us are different. All of us have our um, things that we've been through in our life and the challenges that we've been through our life. Maybe here's another one. There has also been people who have been traumatized, who have been in abusive relationships. So they push people away, or rather than just taking the risk. And the real question is why? Why? Why even take the risk? Why even try, knowing that I was hurt in the past, knowing that I was cheated on, I was lied to, I was betrayed, I was done wrong? Why even take the risk? And I think that's the main reason why some people pull back. And some people are even in denial about it. There was a young lady um, I was dating a while back. Things started going good. We was talking a lot, engaging and stuff. And then all of a sudden, uh, I started to notice some excuses. Well, I can't meet for X, Y, and Z reason, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Then she started to use her sickness. And I'm not saying she wasn't sick, she really was. And then I thought about it. I was like, something is deeper going on beneath the surface that she's unwilling to acknowledge, because I got that inkling. I got that feeling in my gut. I said something is going on here that she's unwilling to acknowledge it. And come to find out, she told me, she says, Henry, I'm sorry, but I have a history of pulling people away. I have a history of pushing people away. She admitted to me and said, Henry, I feel like I pushed you away. Now, I applaud her for being honest, because I had already picked up on that. I had already discerned that. What about you today? How can we discern, or how can we tell? Like I said earlier, it is obvious. You can tell when you develop relationships with people and connections with people. You can tell when somebody's kind of pushing back a little bit. They're not as interactive with you as they used to be. The key is honesty, telling the truth, and just saying, yeah, I feel like this is the reason why I'm pushing back. This is the reason why I'm pulling away, because I've been hurt. I got too much going on in my life, right? Just be real. Just be real. And here's another thing. If you're that type of person who likes to push people away, why develop relationships right now? Why get married? Why make these connections when you know you're the type of person that you dive in, but also you're the type to get right back out right away? Because we know that you're hurt, and you doing that is a response of your hurt, but you don't realize that by you doing that to other people, you're actually hurting them as well. So that's something we have to keep in mind. Sometimes it can be hurtful. Uh, we may not fully understand it, but we know that people do this quite um, a bit. Why even take the risk? Why even try? Why do it? To only find myself disappointed again? To only find myself hurt again? To only find myself betrayed again? Why even take the risk of getting close to someone when I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I have the potential of being hurt? Why? Many of us have taken that risk. I have taken that risk before. And as a result, we have pushed people away. I have pushed people away. I totally understand. And it appears People start to push someone away when it appears that things are getting closer. I said that earlier. When it appears or when it looks like things are getting closer and things are starting to become more intimate, we have this fear of intimacy. We have this fear of authentic relationships and connections because of some things that has unfolded or happened in the past. This is why we pull back. This is why we push people away that we say we love. This is why we push people away that we say we care about. This is why these things happen. There is also a fear of moving forward. And I've seen that happen too. There's a fear of moving forward. There becomes an increase in physical and emotional distance. And like I said, it's obvious. You just know, you can feel it. There's a fear. The communication almost comes to a halt. The communication almost comes to a cease. And oftentimes they appear without explanation. They disappear. I'm sorry. They disappear without explanation. Sometimes people who push other people away or push people out of their life for whatever reason, sometimes you may not always get. A lot of people say, well, I just want, what's that word? Closure. I just need closure. Why did they do it? Why did they walk away? Why did they push me away? I really cared about them. I really love them. I'm here to tell you, we're living in a time in the season now where you may not get that clarity that you want. We're living in a time now where you may not get um, the answers that you're looking for. You may never know why they walked away. You may never know why they pushed themselves away from you or why they don't want to interact with you anymore. You never know. But please, my friends, today, please, whatever you do, I've always said this, just don't take it personal. Just don't take it personal. Because, like I said, many times it's something with them. Sometimes it's something that they're dealing with. Sometimes it's something that they are struggling with. It's not always necessarily you. And we need to keep that in mind. Um, the distance or feeling you were pushed away, it leaves anyone feeling hurt and confused. When I've had people in my life that have pushed themselves away from me, it left me feeling hurt and confused. It left me feeling like, well, why is this happening to me? Why did they push themselves away from me? All I ever wanted to do was love them and embrace them and help them. Why? Why does it appear that things were going nicely until they started throwing the walls back up again? And many of us have walls. All of us do. We have these walls up um, in our lives that we put up, this big wall. And we won't allow anyone to come through it because of trust, because of past disappointments, because of past hurts. We have this big wall up. These people have a history. They have a history of shutting people down or pulling back. And you sit back and you're thinking, well, maybe I'm the only one that this person has done this to. When in reality is you're not the only one that they've done that to. They've done that to probably the last 5 or 6 people or 20 people. Again, as I stated earlier, in many ways it's a pattern. It is definitely a pattern. Um, it is difficult to let people in. I understand that, especially when you've been hurt and you've been betrayed. It's difficult to let people back in. Some ask, but why do people do it? Why do people do it? Why do people push other people away? I would say the overall reason could be fear. It could be fear. If you don't know why you push people away, you might find it more difficult to change that pattern or behavior. If you find yourself pushing people away, it could be fear. I would also like to add this to that. I believe that trust plays a huge factor in why people make the decision to push people away. Do you believe that? If so, let me know in the comment section. I believe that trust plays a huge factor in why people choose to push people away, especially if they've been betrayed. It could be, I understand that concept where it can be really hard not only to recover, but to just open up to someone. I get it why people push people away. We understand that trust doesn't happen overnight. And it's absolutely normal to need some time to be able to fully trust again. You guys have heard me say this a lot. I'll say it again. Many people believe that trust is earned. I don't believe that. I believe that trust is a gift. And when it is violated, you can either extend that gift back to that person or you can just say, I will never, ever, ever trust you again. You need to look at your life and ask, am I pushing people away? And also, are you acknowledging that? Because, like I said, a lot of people that do it are not even aware that they do it. They're not even aware that they push people away. So, here's the question: how do I bring myself to the place of letting people back in? And like I said, this doesn't mean we're not acknowledging your hurt, your disappointments, and the things you've been through in the past. But let's just say you're tired of pushing people away. It's hurting you as much as it's hurting them. And you want to try to reach a place in your life where you can heal, and healing is a process. But at the same time, slowly but gradually starting to open up and let people back into your life. How can you do that? Again, letting people in can be challenging. It's a lot of work, but it is worth the effort. While recognizing your tendency to push people away, to experience change in this area simply means to take some steps, even if that means baby steps. Take some little small steps. Take it one day at a time. Letting people back in is a practice. And you have to know that the more you practice something, the better you become at it. It would take time, like anything in life. It takes time to gradually let people back in. But how do we do that? I'm going to give you three reasons. Number one, you let people back in by taking it slow. You have to take it slow. When you truly desire a closeness with someone, you may not want to rush into it, especially when you have a relationship history of heartbreak and hurt. Pushing that person away may make you feel safer. And that's why a lot of us do it because it makes us feel, if I push them away, it makes me feel safer. Like I said earlier, you protecting yourself from something. So pushing someone away may make you feel safer, but it will or won't inspire you to develop trust. You'll never fully be able to develop trust when you're constantly pushing people away. So my encouragement to you is to take it slow. Hit the brakes. Number two, what you need to do is you need to acknowledge your fears. This is how you let people in. Acknowledge your fears. What are your fears? Why? And this has a lot to also do with why are you pushing people away? Why are you pulling back? Why did you become distant? Is it something that I'm internally dealing with? Is it something that I need to address? Is there some healing or some things in my life that I need to work out and deal with? You can acknowledge your fears, but you don't have to be governed by those fears. Living in fear or the what if mentality will always hinder healthy relationships. It will always hinder healthy friendships, healthy connections. It will always hinder that. You have to acknowledge those fears. Yes, I know those fears are there. I know what those fears are. That's where it starts. Because fear of being hurt and rejected will always leave you in high alert mode. And number three, which I feel is very important. Number three is embrace the moment. Don't worry about what happened in the past. Whatever happened, it happened. I told a friend the other day, I said, she started telling about her history with drugs and all the stuff she's been through, and she started to feel regret and all that stuff. And I told her, I said, you know what? I said, that happened. That's your history. There will always be a part of your history, but that doesn't define who you are today. You are a wonderful person. You are a change person. You cannot change history. Whatever you did in the past, whatever mistakes you've made in the past, you cannot change that. So why revisit it? Why go back to it? When it comes to pushing people away, don't be so hard on yourself is what I'm trying to say. Learn to embrace the moment. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what my next marriage is gonna look like or next friendship or I have a history of pushing people away. Learn how to take a breath. Learn how to breathe and just take a deep breath and relax and just say, I'm not gonna be preoccupied worrying about this because I realize that change doesn't happen overnight. We have to learn to embrace the moment. We have to learn to live in the now. We just do. We can't be worried and preoccupied about the future. We need to learn how to capture the moment. Um, when you go and you take pictures. Let's say you go somewhere and you take pictures. Why did you take that picture? Because you did that for memory reasons. I'm taking this picture and every time you look at that picture, even on Facebook, sometimes it'll show memories. It makes you feel a certain way. Why? Because there was a moment that you captured. Today, capture the moment. I want to encourage you, live in the moment. That's what's important. You have to. You have to. You have no other choice. You have no other decision. Stop rehearsing the past. Stop worrying about what didn't work out. And also stop worrying about the people that you have pushed away. You may have access, they may have access back into your life in the near future. It just means that right now you're just probably not ready. You're probably just not ready. So embrace the moment. Acknowledge your fears. Don't worry about what didn't work. This is a new day. This is a new beginning for you. Thank you for watching the show today. I really appreciate you guys. Once again, please take a second and hit the share button. I would really appreciate it. And until next time, have an amazing day.
We hope you have enjoyed today's program. We want to connect with you. Visit us at facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show, or visit us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We're so grateful you tuned in today and hope you have a fantastic day.